It's your girl Jay, the High Priestess, back at it again with the general tarot reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Taurus season 2023, baby. I leaned into y'all's energy. I started dancing again. I was just like feeling it. Granted, the sun is finally out. I just tried to like moisturize my face, but now I look real. That could be something. There just feels like, I feel like for you guys in Taurus season, there is a lot of, I feel like you noticing your patterns, you noticing the ways that you distract yourself, you noticing the busy work that you take on in your mind in order to keep you from feeling feelings and whatnot. Address that. That's coming up to be addressed. Be sure to check out your Sun, Moon, and Rising. Patreon gets everything first. Patreon.com/justjeverything. For free content, check out my Instagram at justj_everything. TikTok at justjeverything. And for other dope shit that I do, my website, justjeverything.com. Now, be sure to check out the Taurus season astrology video that has all of the astrological dates that you'll need to pay attention to. Because Gemini, of course, your ruling planet is the one that breaks the 3-month-long all planets direct energy vibe that we've been like percolating in. Your ruling planet, Mercury, retrogrades in Taurus on April 21st. And I personally I'm a fan of Mercury in Taurus. I feel like it's like your thoughts are colored with common sense. It's just like, it just is easy. I feel like practicality, getting shit done, moving forward, seeing like what steps, like how to play the long game, I feel like will be really easy for you guys. Your ruling planet goes direct on May 14th in Taurus. And there is just this deep evaluation with the retrograde here. I feel like Mercury, the planet of the mind, is retrograding in Taurus, the sign of I have. So it's definitely this reevaluation of your relationship to your possessions, to money, to your comfort zone, to your living environment even maybe, to the work that you do. Are you satisfied with what you're doing? Maybe you like really feeling purposeful. Mercury's hanging out there with the North Node and Uranus. And I do feel like there will be disruptions. You know, I feel like disruptions to your plans. It's like, I feel like the divine kind of like shits on your plan in some sort of way. and I feel like that's actually going to be very optimistic. I don't want you to be discouraged by that at all. It feels very like, damn, why didn't I let myself want more for myself? Or like, wow, like what's coming in, I feel like you couldn't have even wanted it for yourself. And there's just deep reevaluation in regards to how you interact with the 3D day-to-day world, how you interact with grounding. Do you let yourself ground? Do you feel like distracted? Even in this reading, like I was supposed to do this reading like 2 hours ago. I leaned into y'all's energy and started bebopping all around and like squirreling everywhere. I already have ADHD. You know, it's like I already have ADD, like you guys already have it, like we all have it at this point if you're American. And Taurus wants you diligent, methodical, consistent, creating a well-oiled machine for yourself. So hydrate, light it if you got it. Take some time with me as we create a safe space for our benevolent ancestors, Mother God, Father God, Mother Earth. Thanking you for the most useful, helpful, and divinely aligned messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for Taurus season 2023. 3. Gemini. Y'all need, I hope y'all are dancing. I don't know what, like, there's got to be some Gemini that watches my readings and dances, because almost every time you've got to be like some kind of dancer, or like you just love dancing or moving your body. Really? 5 of Cups being the first card out. All right. So Taurus season wants you looking at the emotional bridges that you need to cross. You just lost Mars. All that fire, Gemini, and yeah, and now it's like with Mars going into Cancer, collectively we're being forced to face our feelings, forced to feel our feelings, not think our feelings, Gemini. So with 5 of Cups being the first card out, and to be clarified on the Selenite throne, your relationship to mental conflict. I feel like there's regret, there's remorse, there's maybe someone with Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio placements. There's still a lot of sadness, there's heaviness. And the thing is, Gemini, is that I need you to really lean into feeling this, because you may be running from your feelings when there's so much power wrapped up in this darkness, in this heaviness, in this sadness, and the regret, and the remorse. Yes, there also could be stuff going on with like cheating or infidelity, or someone that had a drinking problem, or someone that drank too much, smoked too much, was a little too flirty, or maybe someone really like disrespected your, wow. Someone maybe really disrespected you, and just because, you know, maybe something is over, or maybe you're still stuck, like, do I stay, do I go? There's definitely stuff going on with addiction here. Ooh, and Judgment on the bottom of the deck is like, do I stay, do I go? You already know. Don't be staying and perpetuating some shit that you know is toxic. Don't do it. You will get your ass stuck. There is this need to, I feel like you're needing to experience this contrast. You're needing to experience, some of you were just like, why? Why did it go this way? Why hasn't this person reached out to me? Or why are they, you know, why are they ghosting me? Or why did I behave that way? Or why did I do this? And it's just like, all will be revealed, first off. But foremost, what you're needing to tend to is like, acknowledge that you feel stuck. Acknowledge the rut that you're in. Acknowledge the immobility that you feel. There is something here about like, an unconventional perspective, or an opportunity to see things from a very different vantage point. Like, if you're like, sorry, I need it's like, I feel like you may feel like life is in suspense, and if you feel like you're stuck, or if like life is suspended in some sort of way, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and Venus, if you're feeling stuck, it's time to, or suspended, understand that it's divinely orchestrated that you're in this position right now. You're needing to like see things from a different perspective. Like, you're needing to I also feel like you're needing to like learn how to, you're being stuck, or you're not being able to move forward, because the divine really needs you crystal clear on how you got in this position in the first place. There were some red flags that were ignored. There were some signs that were ignored. And just because something is over, or just because it hurt, or just because, you know, maybe you were wronged, doesn't mean that it wasn't real. It doesn't mean that there wasn't love there. But it just feels like, don't be a groupie. Keep it fucking moving. Don't hold yourself in suspense. Or this may have something to do with somebody with Pisces placements specifically. But I just feel like going from the 5 to the 12 is just like, if you don't start acknowledging, if we as a collective, we don't start prioritizing the unpacking of the emotional conflict that is within us, we're just keeping ourselves like in a holding pattern, or a holding position. So it's time to acknowledge whatever shame or guilt or regret is coming up, because some of you are numbing and you cannot numb this out anymore. This could be drinking too much, smoking too much, playing too many video games, or keeping yourself distracted, always around people, or really isolating yourself and maybe falling into some ice cream or something. But I just feel like it's time to start taking the road less traveled. The Two of Wands is at the center of the reading, and this says you have so much more power than you're giving yourself credit for. It's time to break away from the tried and true. It's time to like looking out into the world, really like expanding. I don't know why, I just felt like like it's time to like shake off the old you. Yes, it's time to get in motion. You absolutely will have victory over this, Gemini, but understand this needs to be transmuted into this, and you do that. That's your job. And the way that we do that is by acknowledging, like, hey, what the fuck is going on with my feelings? How do I feel right now? Is this how I want to feel? Have I given away my power? Am I like letting somebody else make me feel this way? Like, when did I stop trusting myself? Or when did I start ignoring my intuition? Or when did I start allowing my feelings to not be prioritized? I feel like some of you stayed in something and you like, maybe you regret it. Or maybe you stayed at this company too long, or you stayed in this marriage, or you stayed in this relationship, you stayed with this person with Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio placements for too long. And the Two of Wands at the center of the reading says it's time to start like making decisions. And you will not make sound decisions from a stuck or numb or evasive place. Final two cards, final two messages for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Four of Wands reversed. And Temperance. Something is upsetting you with the Nine of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I just feel like there has been some dark night of the soul, the end of an era, though. This is the end of this, like, this is an end of an era in your mind. Some of you have had like thought processes that are just like, don't serve you. It's like the way that you've been thinking about things. It's just outdated, possibly, or not even outdated, but it just feels like the divine's trying to like update your device, you know, and you're, you know, clinging to the comfort of the current scenario. And some of you, I feel like this feels like very Aries energy. Actually, it makes sense that this is happening, or that this is coming out, and this is a response to that, you know, Aries season. But Aries can do this thing where they just go 110 miles an hour for 30 years, and then they don't realize that like something hurt. And I feel like you're in a place of like, the divine has halted you. That Mars retrograde in your sign, and Mars leaving, the masculine energy leaving. Some of you are really struggling because some masculine has left, or someone with like highly masculine energy has left or moved away, or isn't pursuing you, or some of you are just healing. And it just feels like I need you to understand that the divine, like this separation, I feel like some of you, this was someone that was sick, or someone that was very toxic in your life, or someone that struggled with addiction or drugs or numbing, or maybe somebody that was hung up on somebody else. There is just this, ooh, child. Final two cards, final two messages are the Four of Wands reverse and Temperance. And I feel like some of you like really wanted to maybe marry this person, really wanted to connect, or you thought that this was it. I feel like there is a very unconventional way of living that's being presented to you in some sort of way. Something very non-traditional coming in. Or maybe you tried something non-conventional or non-traditional and it didn't work out the way that you wanted to. But I do feel like your current foundation, some of you have like a very specific fantasy in your head about like your wedding and your partner and what it's going to be like and what, and I feel like the fantasy in your head, it may be keeping you from experiencing like the reality you're supposed to be experiencing. I feel like it's time to go outside. It's time to go outside. Gonna be late for a while. It's gonna be quite some time. What we never had. I gotta get used to it. I gotta get used to it fast. I think that's Acceptance. Wow, that was from like 2002. All right. Also, that could be a thing. The past is coming up. There is just something about looking at your patterns, clearing out the emotional clutter. I feel like it's time to actively and intentionally dive into your relationship to shame, your relationship to guilt, what keeps you from acting, or your relationship to a thought becoming an action. There could be somebody with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements, maybe Capricorn or Aquarius placements that's really inspiring you to get unstuck. Or I feel like the people with those placements I just named, it will be healthy or good for you to unpack your healing with those people or people with those signs. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, or Pisces. The Two of Wands with the Four of Wands reverse, I feel like you're turning away from like the type of fun that you used to have, or turning away from like an old fantasy, an idealism about romance. Turning away from maybe there was somebody with Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius placements that you're recovering from. I also feel like there is somebody with profound, like, I don't know, I want to say profoundly narcissistic, like an extreme taker. I feel like you are very much so still recovering. This is going to be a juicy ass plunge. I don't know who this is for. This is definitely not all of y'all's reading, but I do feel like I want to speak to the people who are going through it the heaviest, because this is like an ending of a cycle in the realm of your mind. After, come your birthday, come Gemini season, you will not be thinking the same. Like, it's like the foundation of your mind is shifting. The foundation of some of your beliefs about love, about your capabilities, about darkness, about shame, about fear, about your trauma. I feel like you're overcoming a lot. Some of you have been like in a profound place of self-doubt or disbelief, or you've been keeping yourself guarded or closed off in some sort of way. And the only way to acquire real spiritual protection is this, transmuting this heaviness, this darkness, this pain that you've been carrying around, these questions, this uncertainty. Transmuting that into the power, tapping into, and the way you transmute that, I just keep hearing you say, how do I transmute that? You've got to look at it. You've got to sit in it. You've got to let yourself feel it. Where did this come from? Where did I start doing this? When did I start ignoring my intuition? Or when did I start, tending to red flags, or getting myself in situations with people that, are addictive or have addictive personalities? Did one of my parents have addictive personalities? Am I used to being being neglected, or is that what love feels like to me? Is it time for me to start unpacking my childhood trauma? It feels like there's major parental shit that needs to be addressed, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Like, I feel like some of you are really hard on yourself about your patterns, and you don't realize that, like, you learned this somewhere. How you respond to pain is also coming up. How you respond to being challenged, how you respond to the current cycle of life that you're in. The center of the reading is the Two of Wands, and that's all about choice. You can opt out of this. Yes, you can opt out of it, but you've been opting out and running from this for a very long time. And the only way out is through. And I feel like in Sagittarius, you have divine support to clean out your emotional sector, to like clean out your your emotional closet. You've been carrying this stuff around for too long. And it's a matter of behaviors. It's a matter of patterns. I feel like some of you are like, you know your toxic trait, and you know like when the toxic twin wants to come out, and you're aware of that, but like, why is the other twin toxic? You know, what's their shadow? Because you guys have different shadows. You and, you know, like you and the different personality, the other person that you're hanging out with in your psyche. That duality you guys are capable of. You need to unpack why. I feel like there are going to be shifts in friends. I feel like you need to spill the tea. Like you need to spill your emotions. You need to let what's inside out. Stop trying to like keep up with the Joneses or make everything look like or seem like or feel like it's okay when it very clearly is not. And it feels like it's time to tap in and connect and trust the people that you say you love. Some of you, like there is pain to articulate. There's things that need to be said. I gotta move this. Sorry. And so, like, what has you feeling stuck and why? And, like, what do you need to surrender to? You know, there is something here about like feeling embarrassed, possibly. Maybe some of you regret something because it caused you some level of like humiliation or embarrassment. But I feel like you need to practice being completely vulnerable. Your faith and your trust are being tested. You have been tested. And will you be found wanting? That's up to you. But there's definitely here, like you have support. You have support from the earth. I feel like you need to travel. You need to explore. You need to see like outside of your current environment. It's time to start checking in with yourself. Don't do that because like I know it's like Gemini, air, and we're in a fire season and you just had like the planet of fire in your sign. And I feel like your relationship to your pace is coming up to be shifted. Because the divine wants public success and recognition for you. They don't want you afraid to be embarrassed or afraid to want the things that you want. You need to own your wanting. You know, and you need to figure out, is your perspective based in spirituality or in worldly superficial bullshit? There's a lot of healing wrapped up in that answer. And I feel like there's stuff that you need to surrender to the divine. It's time to like break old patterns. It's time to acknowledge the metamorphosis, the release that wants to come in. Stop punishing yourself. Stop being mean to yourself. Stop being so self-critical and make different choices. And allow yourself to understand, hey, there's a good possibility that I'm numbing when I need to be investing in a new definition of recovery. I also feel like, so another level of this is the person with Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio placements. I feel like there's a lot of regret, there's a lot of immobility, there's a lot of shame or guilt or something tied up in that. And I feel like you keep trying to figure out why versus moving forward. Don't like, sometimes why is a trap. Don't get caught up in trying to unpack something versus just getting yourself to safety and creating a safe space for yourself. This person with Pisces placements also, I feel like if there's like a romantic thing with someone with Pisces placements, I don't know, boo. That don't feel good. It just doesn't feel good right now. If you're trying to do this like Captain Save-A-Ho thing where you take care of somebody that is struggling with addiction or, really not taking care of themselves, I feel like they will bring you down with the ship. This Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius person, I feel like maybe leaving or moving forward or moving on or traveling. This could be breakups that are coming on. Decide to like end the engagement or to not get married or to not get engaged or to not move forward. Be careful of also like don't move move in with people real fast and like letting it all be passion and fire, and the next thing you know, like you've eloped and you don't even know this person's like childhood trauma, or like you don't know, like you don't really know them, you've never seen them in crisis, you've never seen them without a job, or you've never seen them full of rage, or you've never seen, it's just like be careful tying yourself to people that you don't really fucking know. Take it slow. And it's time in Taurus season. This is all about the retrograde. The retrograde is just going to show you your shit. The retrograde is going to show you the ways that you need to move forward and how to transmute this pain into power, how to transmute this pain into propulsion. Because I feel like there's all this success and triumph and victory that wants to come, but there are obstacles. And the obstacle right now is your inability to, or your refusal to look at it. It's like you gotta look at it. And if you can't look at it, I feel like it's important to bring in other people or surround yourself with other people who you trust inside your mind, who you trust to like show you or talk to you about your shadow. Because I just got God, this made me think of someone. I have this like not ongoing, but this ongoing debate in my own mind that I had like a conversation with this psychologist, and he says that we can't see our own shadow. And I feel like we have way more access to our shadow than we're giving ourselves credit for, or than Jung gave us credit for, I feel like when you access a liminal space, you absolutely can experience your shadow. But if you're afraid to go to that liminal space, then you are, Gemini, going to need to, Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you will need other people to help you call you out. I feel like some of you need to be kind of like checked. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, damn, boo, your slip is showing a little bit. And let me be that friend. If this is about addiction, it's time. Or, if you're numbing or like really, drinking a lot or smoking a lot or, taking a lot of edibles or taking a lot of, it's, I don't know, whatever the fuck it is for you. Your relationship to how you respond to this is evolving. And if you let yourself, you will overcome. Let's get into it. For the full version of the video, go to Patreon.